What do you think governments can do to either stay away from or do away with nuclear weapons?
Well, let's stepping back a little bit.
Sure.
2005 summit at the United Nations, the largest gathering of world leaders ever to come together at one time. And one of the things on their agenda was this concept of dealing with the nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation, and nothing came out of that process. Then Secretary General Kofi Annan said this was shameful that this had happened. So we need to be able to move beyond this, and I think there's a couple of tracks that we could take. First off, the most important word that governments, particularly those governments who don't have nuclear weapons, don't want them, and are supportive of getting rid of them, need to follow a very successful tactic that's already happened. That's called stigmatize them, more so than has happened. There's already been a successful Ottawa Landmines Convention that's happened outside of the UN systems. There are current tracks right now on cluster bomb munitions and arms trade treaty. That there is an ability for those nations that already believe this to create a nuclear weapons convention and really to start the process of stigmatizing them. Now, clearly, this will not take the United States and Russia and have them gleefully sign on, but the first step is in the heart of the publics and the heart of those governments to really stigmatize. So that's an important part to be able to get rid of nuclear weapons, number one. Number two, and just as important as this, is start a process so that nuclear weapons grade material can't get in the hands of irresponsible non-state actors. So they're looking towards a fissile material cutoff convention, looking for perhaps the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, or some other place to be the holder, the keeper of fissile material, and therefore to at least, even though it doesn't address the fact of how do we get rid of the huge stockpiles that the United States and Russia still has, it stops the possibility of spread. So on one hand, we stigmatize and we make it so nations who, or some nations are now thinking, well, if we have nuclear weapons, that means we're important. Well, we make it so if you have nuclear weapons, you're less than good. We stigmatize, and then secondly, we make it much more difficult than it currently is for non-state actors to be able to use nuclear weapons for terrorist means.